Good evening, Lions fans. On the eve of the Atlanta Falcons game, we're going to give you our thoughts on what we think will happen tomorrow. All right, son, here we are. The eve of week 3. We're playing the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow. We're 1-1. They are 2-0, and they are coming to town in what I personally think is a must-win game. I thought that some before we kind of break down what we see happening in the game, we would look at this injury report real quick. Can you see it?
Yeah, I just have to make my screen full screen. Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with our Lions. And let's start with the people as of right now. The game status says that they're out. Left tackle, Taylor Decker. Safety, Kirby Joseph. Emmanuel Mosley, which he's really been hurt the whole season and off season. And Big V, Hoalati Vaitai is also out. That's our starting right guard. David Montgomery, it says doubtful. The last I heard, he may not be playing. Questionable wide receivers, Josh Reynolds, Amaron St. Brown. Unspecified, Frank Ragnow. And then let's look at Atlanta and see if anything is key. Calais Campbell, it doesn't really say. It just says not injured related rest. That's good. That's a pass rusher. Former Lion Jeff Fukuda says questionable. Or
Yeah.
Cordero Patterson, he hasn't been touching the ball much, so I don't think that's a big deal. So, looking at the injury, seeing what's happening between our Lions and the Falcons, what's your thoughts on the game tomorrow?
You know, I guess my main takeaway would just be I'm going to be really focused on that rookie battle between Jameer Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. But a part of me, the part of me thinks maybe it won't be as crazy as we think it will, especially on Bijan Robinson's side. Like I said, to be honest, the Lions actually have been. They really, I guess you could say they've been underrated in the past or in the rush defense. To be honest, because other than the Panthers game, someone mentioned that they really haven't. I don't think they have allowed over 100 yards since the Panthers game. Since they allowed
Okay.
300 and however many yards they allowed. But the main thing I noticed with about the Falcons and Desmond Ritter was that he doesn't make. I mean, he's a young quarterback. He actually makes a lot of throws that I think the team can capitalize on. It's just who's going to step up and do it. I mean, if you saw him play against the Packers actually had a lot more opportunities to win the game. I think a
Right.
lot of Lions fans are. I know you mentioned that some people, some of our family said they're nervous for the game, but actually I'm not as nervous because to be honest, they're 2-0 against teams that the Lions should smash. I mean, I'm not saying the Lions should smash the Packers, but they should have smashed the Panthers. I mean, they only beat the Panthers and the Packers, and they really barely beat the Packers. So it's not like they're 2
There
and
you
0
go.
against the Chiefs and the Eagles or something.
There
So,
you go. Exactly. You and I were talking about that a while ago, and I said I understand Atlanta is 2-0, and when you and I kind of did our whole NFL, or we were just kind of chopping up about what we think a lot of teams would do. Atlanta is one of those teams that I said they're going to be a little better than people think they may be. But you're right; they beat, if I'm not mistaken, what did you say, the Panthers and the Bears?
The Panthers and the Packers.
The Packers, not the Bears. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
and
the
they
Packers.
really had beat the Packers. They probably shouldn't have beat them.
Okay. Right, exactly. Like I said, now I'm not saying sleep on Atlanta. I'm not saying this is about to be a cakewalk, but it's not as if Atlanta has beat, I don't know, the Cowboys and the Bills or some teams on that level. You
Yeah.
know, but hey, they are 2-0, and wins are wins, right? Let's talk about our Lions offense. Let's start with the offense. Decker's out, so that's left tackle's out, right guard is out, running back is out, and two top wide receivers are questionable. What do you see, or what does our offense have to do tomorrow to put up points to beat this Falcons team?
I'm sure I didn't realize that Amon Ra and Josh Reynolds. I'm sure, hopefully they both play. Honestly, surprisingly, like we kind of talked about before the season, the offense finds ways to score points regardless. It doesn't really seem to matter who's on the field all the time. So I guess what is it? Who Vaitai? Damn, who was the one that had that kind of bad injury last game? Was that Vaitai who did? I
I
didn't
don't
know.
really remember if you're talking about on offense. I don't remember. It must have been because it says it's his knee.
Oh, okay.
So I don't remember seeing anything that showed that it was real, like bad. You know how they show those replays about how bad the injury is. But I mean, whenever a player, especially offensive lineman, hurts his knee, that's a pretty bad injury. I mean, look at Taylor Decker with the ankle. I mean, they need the lower half of their body.
Well, honestly, I think the key to the offense is it's. I think it really is Jameer Gibbs. I mean, if they can't prove that they can move the ball, they don't, like we talked about. They still don't. I mean, we saw that they struggled on those 3rd and 15s and stuff. They don't. It's not like they have some absolute deep threat. I know they have Josh Reynolds every once in a while, but I mean, I still don't think he's a guy that is just going to get that separation on every play. And about Amon St. Brown is not necessarily, like an absolute deep threat either. So I
Right.
think the main thing is letting Jared Goff manage the game how he has been and working in Jameer Gibbs more. I think if they work in Jameer Gibbs, then they should be okay.
Let me ask you a question. Are you concerned with the offensive line? Penny Sewell will probably play left tackle again. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure who's going to fill in at right tackle and right guard. So are you concerned with the offensive line, or do you think they can hold steady?
Um, I the offensive line hasn't been the best with the run so far, anyways, in my opinion. So I guess maybe I'm slightly concerned in that standpoint, but I think the passing game should be okay because we don't really have that many long developing plays, regardless.
Okay. And you and I are thinking a lot alike when it comes to what we need to win. Jared Goff starting at quarterback. In my opinion, Jared Goff needs to do what he does, which is manage the game. I don't know if that interception last week was on him or on Gibbs, but we can't have a pick six. We can't have the interceptions. I think that they have to get Gibbs going. This has to be the game where Ben Johnson came out 2 months ago and said, when the season starts, we're going to use Jameer Gibbs in ways that you've never seen a player use. This is a week to do that because Dave Montgomery is probably not playing if I had to bet. And to be honest, Bam Knight and Craig Reynolds, I, I, I mean, I could be blown away tomorrow and these guys could really step up as the number two backs, but I'm not expecting a lot out of them, to be honest with you. So that means that the running game is going to be on Jameer Gibbs. I think that we're going to see him most of the game, catching out of the backfield, running out of the backfield. I think that it's really going to come down to those two rookies, Jameer Gibbs, and it's going to come down to Sam Laporta. I think that's where we will see the biggest impact. And the reason why I say that is because AJ Terrell's on the other side, and we know that he's a really good corner. So he's going to put the clamps on somebody. If Amon St. Brown is not 100%, so that means another receiver has to step up. Josh Reynolds, I don't know. That means hey, Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones may have to dig into his bag and give us something. Maybe the rookie Antoine Green, and definitely Khalif Raymond can spread the field. We're gonna need to see some of him. That's what I think we're gonna need to see. We're gonna need to see Ben Johnson go into his bag of tricks, and I think we need to put up at least, I'm gonna say at least 24 points to win this game on offense. You see anything different?
Yeah, no, I agree. Because sadly, I'm sadly expecting Drake London to have a breakout game tomorrow. Sadly, I mean, he's been quiet so far, so I'm nervous. Maybe tomorrow will be his day.
I'm hearing a lot of people say that about Kyle Pitts, that tomorrow may be his day
I
because
thought
they
he was.
said Kyle
I thought
Pitts.
he was injured. Actually,
Yeah, they said no. They just said he's been quiet, and some
I
people
was
said
not.
they think that tomorrow may be the day he breaks out. Okay,
And
let's
here's why.
go
Oh,
ahead. Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and the problem is that this is where this is. It was funny. We talked about why the heck didn't they kick the rocks on a guy like Isaiah Simmons? It's kind of like, look at all these injuries that you have now. Isaiah Simmons seems to be the perfect guy. I mean, he would be able to match Kyle Pitts easily.
He
I
would.
don't know what linebacker we're gonna have that's gonna be able to match with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts on every play, except for maybe Jack Campbell. So and I guess you just have to look at the front office, I guess. But you got to really question why they don't. I guess you take more risk out there. I guess that's not even really a risk, a 7th round pick. But you just have to think about stuff like that, I guess.
I agree. Let's talk about the defense. The front six seems to be pretty much intact, except Pascal. Even though they don't show him on here, Pascal is hurt again. The front six seems to be pretty decent. I'm saying that because we run the big nickel, but the back five, we're having some issues with Kirby Joseph out, Gardner Johnson out, which means that more than likely we probably will see Tracy Walker and Melifonwu starting at safety. I think that Brian Branch, they were going to keep him in that big nickel role with Emmanuel Mosley and Jerry Jacobs on the outside at corner. What does our defense have to do tomorrow to win this game for us?
Uh, oh, geez. Okay, I don't know. My mom's calling me in the middle of this. Okay. You said what does the defense need to do to win?
Yes, what does the defense need to do to what does our defense need to do to win to hold this Atlanta team down?
Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, now I flipped over. Sorry, I'm gonna have to text you real quick.
Okay, no worries. Well, this is the thing. I'm looking at the fact that Desmond Ritter has not actually been throwing the ball very well. He seems to still be more comfortable with his feet than he is with his arm. So I think that the key that Aaron Glenn has to do is we have to make Desmond Ritter win this game with his arm. Like we have to make him throw the ball because they're going to hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. They're going to hand the ball off to Algier, who was actually a pretty good rookie last year, and Ritter is going to move around with his feet and try to run. So they're to me, they're going to have to make him throw the ball to Pitts in London in order to win this game.
I mean, it's a complete masterclass of how they've worked Bijan Robinson. The Lions are talking about we're going to use Gibbs in ways that we haven't used him before. But shoot, the guy the guy who has the most receptions on the team is Bijan Robinson. I mean, he has 10 receptions
Right,
and
right.
he has the most carries. It's like he is the team. So I guess the key is to stop their star. But it's like I wonder why the Lions aren't doing the same thing
With
with
Gibbs.
Gibbs. And I hate to, and I think Gibbs is a good guy, but like I keep saying, if we knew that the Lions like guys like Montgomery, I really question why they didn't get Bijan Robinson, knowing he was 215, a guy that you could use on every play. I
Right.
still wonder I wonder why they did that, but
Well, if anybody saw our pre-draft video, and you know what, I know the draft was a long time ago, but you can still look in our archives and dig it up. I said that several times in the first round. Go after Bijan Robinson. I love that kid coming out of Texas. I thought he would be a good fit for us. When we moved down to 12, I did not expect us to take a running back. I don't have an issue with Gibbs at all, but I did not expect us to take a running back. I thought for sure they
yeah.
had something else in mind. So I sticking with the defense, I think that that's going to be the key, which basically means is that we're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Branch, Jacobs, and Sutton because I believe that we have to make Desmond Ritter throw the ball to win the game. Now that we've talked about the offense, we talked about the defense. Let's just get right into it. Let's give our predictions and how we see the game shaping playing out.
Um, I think it's going to be another high scoring game. I kind of agree with what you said. I think the offense is going to have to put up at least 24 points. My prediction was 31-24 Lions. I think they should win the game, but I think it's probably going to be another nail biter. How a lot of these games are probably going to go. I feel like as fans we kind of forgot this is not college football. This is the NFL. So teams that we thought were bad before, clearly, they're professionals too. They've been working the whole summer. So I
Right,
think it'll
right.
be, I think it'll probably be another tight game. But I think the Lions should be able to win 31-24 if they can control Bijan Robinson. If for some reason Kyle Pitts starts working and Bijan Robinson starts,
Mhm.
getting those 5 yard gains, 7 yard receptions, and I think they'll probably beat the Lions, by maybe by 3, by 10, I don't know. But I think if we can control Bijan, then I think we'll be all right. I don't think Desmond Ritter is really going to be the issue. I don't. Hopefully.
You know what? I don't either. That's what I'm trying to say. They have to make him the issue. They have to force
Yeah.
him to have to win the game and don't let because we already know through 2 games what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They have 2 good running backs and they have a quarterback who can move with his legs. So they have to run the ball and they have to keep Ritter contained and don't let him extend plays when he does pass the ball. I originally was going to go 31-17. It's funny you said 31 points because even with the injuries, I can still see the Lions offense putting up 4 touchdowns in the field goal. I could still see it. I could see
Yeah.
Laporta getting loose. I could see Gibbs getting loose. I could see somebody unsung like Khalif Raymond stepping up. I think that special teams is going to play a big part in this game. Khalif Raymond on returns and Patterson kicking field goals. I still think that even with the injuries, the Lions can win this game. I'm I'm still gonna go with 31 points. I'm actually gonna go 31-20. 31-20. I think that the Falcons are also going to get a couple of field goals. I think special teams is going to play a part. I'm going to say 31-20 Lions in a must-win game. And I think that more than anything, we're calling all these names out, right? Offense, defense, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. Dan Campbell is the one who I think this game is going to be on. This is going to be on Coach Campbell. He has to coach a great game with all of these injuries to get us through it. And I would like to say one more thing before we get up out of here. Lions fans, as diehard Lions fans as we are, I was telling some people at work, let's don't talk about injuries, because when we beat the Chiefs, what I told people, I don't want to hear anything about injuries and Kelsey's not playing. It's NFL. It's next man up. Same thing goes for us. Next man up. Whoever steps in for these injured players that you see on the screen, it's got to be next man up. And whoever that is, they have to step up and do their job. So we're not going to make excuses. We're going to get out there and just do our thing. You have
Yeah.
anything else on the game?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I would say was other people, in a way, it is a must-win game, I think, because it would definitely help for them to host a wild card game. But I mean, the Bears, because I just don't want Lions fans get so down when we lose games early. I feel like we got to remember. I mean, the Vikings and the Bears are 0-2, and now if we do lose this game, it does make the Packers a must-win game for sure, for sure. But I think basically, I'm saying even if the Lions do lose this game, we have to remember that we did start off 1-6 last year, and that they can turn around the season at any point. But yeah,
It's true. It's true. And this is the thing. I guess this is what I'm trying to get at. Yes, it's true that the Lions, you're right. It is absolutely true that it's not necessarily the end, the what I'm saying, the end of the season, if you will, son. But what my issue is that if you are going to be the team that we think that you can be, you absolutely have to win these games. You have to win games like this.
yeah,
And this is what I'm looking at right here. The reason why I say it's a must-win game, I want to throw this up real quick. These are our games coming up. Reason why I say it is because if we can win this game and we're 2-1, it's a short week. We're at Green Bay next Thursday. It's a short week.
that was sweet. Yeah,
So I think it's a must win, because going into Green Bay 2-1 is better than going in 1-2 and then hoping that they lose to keep it close. I think we have winnable games right here. Falcons at home, at Packers, primetime Thursday night. We come back the week after that, after a long week, healing up a little bit. We have Carolina at home and then at Tampa Bay. That's why I'm saying this is a must win, because if we can get this game, those next three are possibles. Now we're 4-1 going into week
that's
7.
true.
As we're 4-1 instead of being 3-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I say that. But that's my final prediction. I have us winning this game. I think we're going to gut it out. Did we miss anything, son?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it then. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you see how to find us. You can find us on YouTube. You can also find us on our new Twitter channel that my son set up for us. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can keep talking Lions football. Other than that, we'll talk to y'all after the game tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.